If you're running a nonprofit, a charity, a church, a private school, anything like that, you live this every single day. You're driven by this incredible mission to help people, but you get bogged down in tasks that feel so far removed from that mission. So today, we're going to look at how one company is helping nonprofit leaders get out of the weeds and back to their real work. All right, let's get into it.
Everything really does boil down to this one question, doesn't it? This is your why. It's the fire in your belly that gets you going every morning. It's the reason you make sacrifices and work those long hours. This passion, it's the heart of everything you do.
And then reality hits. Let's be honest, your mission is to care for people, not to become an expert in Adobe InDesign or a social media guru. But you have to do that stuff, right? You need it to connect with donors. And before you know it, it's a huge time suck, pulling you away from the very people you wanted to help in the first place.
So what's the answer? How do you get all this critical communication work done without completely burning out or draining your budget? Well, this brings us to a really powerful concept. What if you could have an entire team of experts on call ready to go? Just think about this for a second. Imagine having a professional graphic designer, a writer, a social media manager, a print expert, all working for you. For most nonprofits, hiring all those people is just a pipe dream. But here's the core idea from Stafford Consulting. You get that whole team of experts for less than what it costs to hire one part-time employee. That's a game changer.
So let's just lay it out. You can go the old school route and try to hire someone, but usually you get one person with one skill set, and you have to pay a high salary plus all the overhead, and you still have to manage them. Or you can partner with Stafford, and all of a sudden, you've got a full team of experts, one simple monthly cost, and a whole range of services. It's not just hiring someone, it's getting a true strategic partner.
So how do they actually pull this off? Well, it's not just about doing a bunch of random tasks. It's about having a real strategy. And their whole approach is built around what they call an omni-channel communications plan.
Okay, I know omni-channel sounds like a bit of a corporate buzzword, but the idea behind it is actually really simple and really powerful. It just means that whether a donor sees your message on Facebook, in an email, or on a mailed postcard, the look, feel, and message are all perfectly consistent. It makes you look professional and builds a ton of trust.
And look at how much this covers. They really do connect all the dots for you, from building your website and managing social media, all the way to professional printing, mailings, and even managing your donor database and email lists. It is a complete, unified system, all working together to support your mission.
And they get that not every nonprofit is in the same place. So they've got 3 different levels. There's the donor content autopilot. That's perfect for busy leaders who just need their communications to be consistent. Then you've got donor development for when you're ready to really grow your mailing list with things like print newsletters. And finally, omni-channel engagement is the whole shebang for leaders who want to become true influencers with podcasting, SEO, the works.
Of course, any plan is only as good as the people behind it. And in the nonprofit world, especially for faith-based groups, trust is absolutely everything. This is where Stafford Consulting really shines.
The whole thing was founded by Mark Stafford, and once you understand his background, you totally get why this company is so perfectly suited to serve nonprofits. Okay, so here's the key. Mark has this incredible blend of experience. On one hand, he spent over 2 decades in full-time ministry. He's an ordained minister. He gets the heart and soul of this work. But on the other hand, he's got 20 years of experience in high-level media production and marketing. He speaks both languages, and that is so rare.
And you can see how much their clients appreciate that. Just listen to this from David Witt. He says, they give personal and friendly service with integrity, but are also sharp in the business and high-level professional. That's the perfect mix right there.
And this one from 𝗄𝗵𝘁 really nails another huge point. They focus on excellence, but they also get the budget constraints of a nonprofit. They understand that every dollar comes from a donor and needs to be stewarded well. That respect for your financial reality is huge.
So when you put it all together, what does it all mean for you as a leader? Well, it all comes down to one thing. You get to focus on what actually matters most.
This is the end goal. This is the promise. You get to free yourself from that constant grind of creating social media posts and designing newsletters. You get back to the heart of your mission, back to serving and leading and caring for people. You get to get back to your why.
So at this point, you're probably thinking, okay, this sounds incredible, but there's no way we can afford it. Well, take a look at this. This isn't some crazy 5-figure investment. It's actually way more accessible than you think.
Yep, that number,
$495 is the starting price per month. That's for the donor content autopilot package we talked about. You get the blog post, the social media, the email blast, all done for you by a professional team for less than you'd pay a part-timer.
And that really brings us to the final question. I want you to just pause for a second and really think about this. What more could you do? How much bigger could your impact be if all the marketing and communication stuff was handled by an expert team that actually gets your mission? What would that free you up to do?
So if you're even a little bit curious about what that might look like for your organization, the next step is super simple. Just head over to their website and schedule a free discovery call. It's just a conversation, totally no pressure, to see if it might be a good fit. It could honestly be the single best step you take to grow your impact this year.